I'm at a loss for words at my own stupidity. The villain is low-key writing all his letters like he's an edgy 12-year-old. This being the cover of the book, I think speaks volumes to what we're getting ourselves into right now. Hi, my name is Rosaline, and I was a very chronically online child, and I also liked to read. So what do you get when you combine both of those things together? Wattpad. So today I wanted to read to you guys one of my Wattpad stories. It is truly an acid trip, and it's kind of a time capsule. It is very 2014. The book has 17 chapters, and there's a bunch of other chapters I added to the book of like messages to the readers, except there were like no readers reading this book, so I was literally talking to myself. It gets really cringy, you'll see in a bit. But the first chapter opens up with our main protagonist, Kelly, talking about the clock in the classroom, 5 minutes until the bell rings for summer, and this is verbatim from the book. Unlike other normal 16-year-olds, I, the amazing Kelly, spent her summer reading and, well, ... being sort of, what do you call it, ... oh yeah, a nerd.
Oh brother, this guy stinks!
I really thought that was heat. Like, I thought that was like on par with like Marissa Meyer, Susan Collins. Like, I thought I was gonna be the next big author. I was clearly living in delusion. After that painstaking introduction, she starts talking about how when the bell does ring, kids start tearing their textbooks apart, throwing pencils, and then the queen bee of the school, Amanda, stands at her desk and invites everybody to a party. You can see that in middle school I had no perception of what high school actually was, because I genuinely thought that this was like a realistic take on like a high school classroom. She then goes on and gives us her lore about being an orphan. She says her mom went missing when she was born and her dad left her because I guess he didn't love me or care about me. The next thing that happens is her going to an orphanage, and I don't even think orphanages like exist in America the way I have written in this book, but she enters her orphanage and she's like saying, "Orphanage, sweet orphanage," and she starts talking to the like caretaker of the house named Miss Rose. I'm pretty sure Miss Rose is a self-insert because my name is Rosaline and that's like not slick at all, but she says there's 6 orphans, 5 babies, and me, which is so like lazy writing. Like, I didn't want to add any other character, so I just made all the other orphans like literally babies. And then she's like, soon there'll be 5, which I think is downright unfair. Why is it unfair? Because I've been in the orphanage for 16 years. Yeah, you heard me, 16 years, and the baby being adopted here has been here for 1 week. And she's just saying like how teenagers never get adopted, which is, you know, a good sentiment, like, you know, good commentary. People usually don't adopt teens, but the way I wrote it is just so cringy that it takes away like any amount of like commentary I was trying to make on that. Okay, chapter 2. Remember the party from chapter 1? That plays into this chapter. This chapter also opens up with pictures of letters as well as a link to a blank space lyric video, which plays into the chapter as well, unfortunately. So the chapter starts off with Kelly taking a nap and then being awoken by a call, and she answers it, and poor Miss Rose, Kelly yells into this phone and says, "You better have a pretty good reason to disturb my freaking beauty sleep." And then I wrote beauty wrong. And then Miss Rose is like, "Calm down." And then she's saying that she thinks that Kelly should go to Amanda's party. Remember Amanda, the queen bee from chapter 1. And I'm really not sure why Miss Rose, a grown adult, is telling Kelly, the orphan that she's taking care of, to go to like a random party. And also, how does Miss Rose know about this party? And now it's starting to get like really painstakingly cringy. Kelly says that she can't go because it breaks rule number 1 in her Kelly book. And then she puts on a SpongeBob voice. "Because I can." Wow, I really scream a lot. I need to work on that. Breaking the 4th wall for some reason. And then Miss Rose starts threatening Kelly, saying you have to go or she's gonna force a random serial killer to adopt her. And then she just like really tries to convince like Kelly to go because she doesn't have daughters and she wants to give Kelly a makeover. Miss Rose is a bad person. Like, you are her guardian and like clearly the child doesn't want to go to the party. Why are you trying to force her? I don't know. She's trying to force her for her like own selfish reasons. And this is the outfit that Rose finally, when she convinces Kelly to go to the party, puts her in. A gray dress with ruffles, with a neon yellow belt and neon yellow heels, and a gray bow in her hair.
I'll be popping bottles, sparkles and champagne. VIP myself.
And when I said that this book is like a testament of 2014, this is what I mean. This is like the most 2014 outfit in the world. Okay, and this is when the plot starts getting juicy. Before Kelly leaves the party, she notices that the window is open, and she goes to close it, and she sees a letter on her bed, and it says, "Dear Kelly, everything will change soon, ... very soon. I'm the one person who knows what really happened to your mom and dad. Sincerely, your only chance."
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would.
I really thought that this ate. I really thought this was mysterious and like genre breaking, so like sending goosebumps down my spine. In reality, it's poorly written and it's like really cringe and obvious. Okay, and then now we're cutting forward to Miss Rose's car. She starts talking about her relationship with Miss Rose, how she only sees her like twice a month, and Miss Rose is her only friend. And she says that she feels bad for Miss Rose because she has 10 children, and all of them are boys, 5 adoptive boys and 5 of her own. You know, Miss Rose, I love you. Thank you for adopting children. But then also, why didn't you adopt any girls? If you wanted girls so badly, why did you adopt 5 boys? No one is forcing you to adopt just boys. I'm confused about that, but moving forward. And then Kelly trauma dumps at the end of that paragraph and is like, "But Miss Rose is luckier than me because at least she has a family," which is crazy.
You just can't get into
but
it.
what can you expect from this story? In the next paragraph, we finally get like some sort of description of Kelly. Miss Rose is looking at her with an approving smile, and it says, "She's staring at my dirty blonde hair and then my green eyes. Was she jealous? No, she can't be," I thought to myself. "She's way more pretty than me." I shake the nonsense out of my head. I don't know why Kelly automatically thought of jealousy. Miss Rose was simply looking at her. Get out of your head, Kelly. When Kelly walked into the party, she realized that Amanda wrote down everybody's names and put them in a box. And her plan was that the person's name that she picks out is going to have to sing karaoke to Taylor Swift's Blank Space, which is kind of a weird game because why is only one person singing, and why is it like that specific song? Like, this isn't giving karaoke, it's giving like, I don't know. When Amanda finally does pull the name out of the box, can we all guess who the lucky singer is gonna be? It's Kelly. Of course it's gonna be Kelly. After some protesting, but honestly not enough protesting for someone who claims to be shy and a nerd, Kelly starts to sing Blank Space. And I literally write down lyrics of the song in the book. "Nice to meet you, where you've been, Imagining Madness, Heaven, Sin." And then it says, "I keep singing the song, by now I've zoned out, all the cheering from the crowd isn't even heard by me. In no time I finish and look up at the crowd. Maybe Rose was right, this could be fun." That was the end of chapter 2. And keep in mind, that was like such a short chapter. Like that was literally like what, 5 pages? And I thought that I, again, was the next like huge author. I thought that I wrote like a very lengthy chapter, a very like normal chapter, but I think like maybe that was like 300 words, if even. So I think I had big dreams and failed at the execution. Moving on to chapter 3. If you thought the last chapter was short, chapter 3 is only 2 measly pages. So the chapter opens with Kelly drinking some soda and then getting a call from the town's hospital. And the phone call says, "We would like to inform Kelly Williams that Amber Rose is in critical condition. She was in a car wreck," because I didn't know how to spell, "and is now in a concussion." Now in a concussion is crazy. "Please do not visit anytime soon because of her condition. We will call you when you may visit her." Before I could talk, he hung up. I think I thought a concussion was a coma because the way I wrote this makes it seem like Miss Rose is like knocked out, but like a concussion is just like head, I don't know. I didn't know anything. I was 12. And the next paragraph says, "Tears appear in my," I didn't write eyes because I don't know, my grammar was awful, and I did not like read these. Like when I wrote them, I just wrote them in one go and then posted them. I did not read them back. After that phone call, Kelly runs out of the party and calls a taxi, which is like kind of crazy because like, it makes it seem like she didn't call a taxi with her phone, like she just called a taxi over. She lives in the suburbs, there are no taxis. How is she calling one over? I don't know. But our girl Kelly has some great connections, so she calls a taxi over miraculously. When she gets to the orphanage, Miss Rose's car is like somehow in front of the orphanage, and the windows are cracked and the tires are popped. And when she opens the door, she gasps because there's a letter in the car that looks like the letter that was on her bed. The letter says, "Dear Kelly, I was just so bored. I had to cause some trouble. I hurt her, not just for fun, but because all your 16 years of life she lied to you. Sincerely, your only chance." The villain is low-key writing all his letters like he's an edgy 12-year-old, which makes sense because I was 12 and I wrote this, and I was trying to be edgy, so it adds up. And then she says, "I was angry. No, not angry, furious. The only thing on my mind right now was revenge for who messed with Rose." What the heck am I writing? I can't read this. It's like actually an illiterate, jumbled up mess. Let the war begin. And that was the end of chapter 3. The very long chapter of 2 pages. Chapter 4 spices things up by being an unknown's point of view. And it starts off with this like mysterious man sitting in his car and watching Kelly through the orphanage like window go downstairs, eat a Pop-Tart, and watch SpongeBob. Also, huge plot hole. I think Kelly is alone right now because Miss Rose is in the hospital. Who is watching the babies? There are 5 babies, like infant babies, and Kelly cannot even take care of herself. How is she taking care of these babies? Who knows? I don't even think the babies are mentioned after this, not that I can remember. We'll see in a bit. But the unknown person says, "One day she'll meet me, the only person in her little family who cared about her. She will live with me, willingly or unwillingly. When we do meet, we will have to plot a plan to kill the person who took our mother and father." My name is Brandon and I'm Kelly's brother. That is how his like point of view section ends. So what was the point of saying that it was Unknown's point of view? When literally 5 sentences after I write Unknown's point of view, I write I'm Kelly's brother. Whatever. I was trying to be edgy, I was trying to be mysterious, and I didn't know how to carry through with my edginess because I was too impatient to like actually write out the mystery plot. Right after that is Kelly's point of view again. It's at the end of the chapter, so it's like literally only 2 sentences. But it says, "Once I finish watching SpongeBob, don't judge. I look out the window and see a black car. I feel like I'm being watched. I ignore this feeling because I know for a fact that I would never be stalked. I probably am the least interesting girl in town." And then I left a little note that said, "Thanks for reading." No one was reading. Chapter 5 is 2 pages long. I remember writing this and thinking I was the world's best comedian. So funny. It's not funny. It's not funny at all. It's funny in hindsight because I can make fun of it now. But I thought I was like a serious author writing a comedic scene. The chapter starts off with Kelly talking to herself. "I wonder what would happen if I stuck my foot in the freezer and kept it there for an hour." I asked myself before I was in this mess. My foot is now covered in frost and stuck to the freezer. If I had put my foot in a freezer for an hour, this would not have happened. Wait, what did I put? Sorry guys, I keep trying to read this and like my grammar was so bad. I put my foot in the freezer for an hour, this would not have happened. I don't know. She's telling herself to stay calm, and then the doorbell rings and she starts screaming, "Help, help, my foot is stuck in the freezer and I can't get out." "Kelly, is that you?" a soft voice said. I suddenly remembered the owner of the voice. It was ... Tia ... No, it was Pia ... Oh, I know, it was Mia. Yeah, Mia. "Mia, the key is under the mat," I yelled desperately. She came into the kitchen and we had an interesting conversation. It went like this. "Mia, how in the world did you get the idea to do this?" Me, from a SpongeBob episode. "Mia, finally a person who understands me. SpongeBob is the best show in the world." Me, "We can make t-shirts that say SpongeBob is a way of life." Mia, "You want to come to my house? We can make t-shirts that say that." Me, "Sure." When Mia finished detaching my foot from the freezer, we went to her house. I think I may have made my first friend. Why was Mia at her house? Why was Mia there? And you have no friends. Like, this isn't like a friend from school. So like, what? I'm so confused. Like, what? I'm at a loss for words at my own stupidity. Next, we have one of those like non-chapter chapters that I mentioned in the beginning of this video, and the chapter is called Picture of Kelly. This is the picture I added.